You're probably wondering, what has Quabs been cooking? Why is there Garura in Ecclesia? Is he trying to summon Fawn of Albaz? That's too slow. No, 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 no. Come on now.
Yeah.
Wonderful people. It's your boy Quabs, and I am back with a Swordsoul deck profile. Yeah, it looks weird, but yes, this is a Swordsoul deck profile. I've been cooking this specific deck for quite some time. I have taken a step back from Labyrinths, as you guys know from my previous video. So this is what I've been playing for quite some time. And yes, Garura is in the extra deck. Obviously, Ecclesia needs to be in the main deck. I mean, this is a Swordsoul deck. But yeah, without wasting any more of your time, I am going to explain everything in the deck profile. So yeah, let's go straight into the deck profile. Before we continue, I just want to give a huge shout out to the people who have helped me out with the deck. So shout outs to Robbie, to Jordan, my editor, to Jacques. I mean, he's always in the streams and helps me out with staples, to the Anti-Meta Club. You guys know who you are. To Pranesh as well. And pretty much everybody who's hopped in stream and has tested with me. Got to say thank you. Obviously AI as well. I mean, I wouldn't be able to test these weird and wacky lines if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you again. Guys, if you want to get your gear, your Digimon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, also some accessories as well, AI's website will be in the description, so yeah, check them out. I've noticed that the Battle of Legends was sold out, the tournament I actually tested out this specific build. So yeah, it looks like you guys are cleaning AI, which is perfect, which is absolutely perfect. But again, without wasting any more of your time, let's go straight into the deck profile. Let's go straight into the main deck, guys. So for the main deck, we'll just start off with the Swordsoul and the Tenyi monsters. Everybody knows the standard lines with Swordsoul and Tenyi. So obviously 3 Incredible Ecclesia, 3 Moyi, 3 Longyuan, 2 Taya. Wouldn't change anything. There were times where I saw multiple of Moyi and Longyuan, but that means I've got game, pretty much. There's never a time where I actually had 2 Taya in hand. But yeah, I love this ratio. Not going to change anything. And then for the 10-year lineup, I had 3 Ashuna. I had to borrow 2 from Robbie, so shout outs to you, Robbie. I couldn't find my Ashunas. But yeah, 3 Ashuna, 2 Vishuda, 2 Adhara, 1 Chithana. I don't think I'll change these ratios much. I did like the 3, double 2, and 1. There was never a time I needed more Vishuda and more Adharas because I was basically rotating all of them. The only time I actually went through 3 Tenyis was actually a Shuna, which is the best to actually get in grave or in hand or on field. So these ratios were absolutely perfect. Would not change a thing. And then for the non-worm / Swordsoul stuff, I ran 1 Apple Dragon. Apple Dragon came clutch. Absolutely cracked. I can't believe they made a card like this. This is an honorary Swordsoul Tenyi card. But yeah, just 1 Apple Dragon and 2 Gamma Seals. Gamma Seals, obviously, for going second. Absolutely amazing. Oh no, you have an unbeatable towers. Cool, Gamma Seal. You guys know the vibes already. So yeah, that's why I run those non-engine monsters. And then let's just go straight into the hand traps. So when it comes to the hand trap line, obviously it's subject to change depending on the format, but I do love running between 9, 10, and 11 hand traps in this deck. I feel like it's more than enough. I don't think I'd go over 11 because I still want to see my starters, and seeing all of these, or at least one of these, in my opening hand has been absolutely amazing. So yeah, for this specific hand trap lineup for now, I'm running 2 Droll, 2 Ash Blossom, 2 Ghost Ogre, and 3 Infinite Impermanence. The only reason why I run Infinite Impermanence at 3 and not the other hand traps is because it's okay if you see multiple imperms, because you can activate them both same turn. The other hand traps, I mean, it would be great to have both of them, but they technically just become dead if you have multiple and you've used one. So yes, I love this ratio. I might add in nibs, so maybe remove 1 imperm and add 2 more Nibiru, but it really depends on which locals I go to at that moment in time. But this ratio, absolutely beautiful. And now we're moving on to the spells. This obviously is subject to change depending on your playstyle. I feel like the ratios that I have and the spells that I'm playing works for me specifically. If you want to change it, it's really up to you. Except for the Swordsoul Emergence, I feel like everything else is really up to the player. So, for the spells, I play 3 Swordsoul Emergence. You know my favorite word, standard procedure, guys. So 3 Swordsoul Emergence, and then 1 Sacred Summit. This is one of the cards that you can take out. You don't necessarily have to play it, but I feel like, especially with the extra deck I have, Summit comes in really clutch. I've never had an issue of really bricking in terms of having Summit, because if I have Summit and I still have something else, Summit is just an additional extender throughout my plays or for follow-up, basically. So yes, 1 Summit. And then for the 10 spell cards, I play 1 Vessel. Vessel's absolutely cracked. 1 Heavenly Dragon Circle. Also, if I open this, it's absolutely amazing. I can dodge Imperm. There was never a time where I really needed it for my locals, or my matchups, I should say. But it's good to have. Even if you are able to get it to the graveyard and then use it the turn after. And then 2 crossouts for generic spells and 1 Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave, obviously, you guys know what Call by the Grave is for. Crossout, the reason why I do play Crossout is obviously because of the hand traps I do play. That's why I want to consider getting Nib into the main deck as well for the hand traps. But also the other reasons why I play Crossout is for if I so happen to be in a situation where, and this has happened a few times, but if I'm in a situation where my board is somewhat good, like established, and I've never had the need to activate Crossout. So what I'll do is I'd actually cross out one of the worms that I might want to have in my hand next turn. So for example, if I have a non-effect monster on field and an Adhara in grave, and I haven't used them yet, so turn passes, my opponent hasn't done anything, I will activate the crossout, sending one of the worms, let's say for example, depending on my hand, but let's say it's either Taya, Moe, or Longyuan. So I'll banish those, and then obviously turn comes to me, and I will, in my turn, at horror effect, banish, add one of those worms that I have banished, and then continue my plays. So those are one of the reasons why I do play Crossout as well. It's very versatile, personally, in my opinion, in this specific deck because of the fact that Adhara can actually add it back to hand. Yes, it's very situational, but with a card like this, and the fact that you can actually recycle your banish, I would definitely play this card, not at 3 but at 2. Then, as I've explained, Call by the Grave is Call by the Grave. So yeah, this is my spell lineup. It is subject to change. I might cut either the Vessel or the Dragon Circle. Not too sure if I need both, even though the times where I did need them, they were actually good, or when I did have them, they were actually good. But yeah, this is why we test the decks at locals. So that's it for the spells. For the traps, it's not much. Besides Imperm, I play 1 Blackout and 1 9 Pillars. I did try the Yang Zem build. It's kind of situational. For the Blackout, I've been actually using Blackout's second effect when it's banished to get a token, which is really weird. But I've used more of its banish effect than its actual on field effect. And then for 9 Pillars, with 9 Pillars, I've actually been seeing it in opening hand or drawing into it, which is fine because I do run another Yang Zing in my extra deck, so it wasn't really that bad. But yeah, these are the only 2 traps besides Imperm I do run. And that's it for the main deck. Now into the spicy extra deck. So what you guys have all been waiting for, the spicy extra deck. Again, this is subject to change. It all depends on the player. But I've actually really liked my extra deck. I don't think I'll make any adjustments. Again, it does depend on your locals, but I really liked the extra deck that I was playing. The way I've played, most of the time, the extra deck monsters that I've seen in other deck profiles, I'll never go into it. And the amount as well, I feel like if you are playing multiples of specific cards, again, this is my opinion, you are basically losing the game. So yes, we're going to go straight into the extra deck. But for the synchros, level 5, it's 1 Denglong. Obviously the Denglong is for the 9 Pillars and to send a worm. I particularly don't like Denglong, but the only reason why I'm actually running Denglong, or testing Denglong I should say, is because of specific situations where I do have a level 4 and an Adhara on field. So if my Moyi is negated, for example, or if my Tire is negated, for example, and I do have Adhara and Tire currently, that's when I can go into the Denglong plays. Or if I'm able to go even further beyond, Denglong is the perfect synchro. I wanted to run Yazi, but I've never been in a situation where I've needed Yazi, and I feel like if I need to go into something like Yazi, I'm already losing. So yeah, that's why I cut Yazi and I replaced Yazi with Denglong and a few other cards. But yes, that's only level 5 I do play. Then the standard level 8s for synchros is 2 Chi-Shao, heart and soul of the extra deck. Then 1 Baxia. I decided to run 1 because I've never run into a situation where I need 2. And then Draco Berserker. When I go into Draco, you know it's game. Dragite evenly is doing nothing. That's it for the level 8s, and then only 3 level 10s to be honest. I wanted to run Chaos Angel, but I did test it before. Very situational when it comes to Chaos Angel, number 1, and number 2, the only reason why I tested Chaos Angel is because before I was maining Hop Squadron, which I'm not maining now. So Chaos Angel's out, and the 3 standard level 10 synchros is Cheng Yang, Long Yuan, and Baron de Fleur. Shoutouts to Jean-Luc. This is Jean-Luc's Baron. I've been abusing this Baron. It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, Baron for game. funny enough, people forget that Baron has 2 other effects besides the negate. So yeah, I've been abusing the other effects like it's nobody's business. But yeah, that's it for the synchros, basically. And then the links, guys. I'm going to be saying this a lot. Standard procedure. Running 2 monk, 1 shaman. Never needed a 3rd monk. If I need a 3rd monk, that means I'm already losing. So I gotta say, resource management in this deck is vital. If you are exhausting monk too early in the game, or late game you can't recycle your monk back, then I mean that is GG's for your opponent. So personally for me, 2 monk is fine. Shaman as well. Shaman is clutch. And if you do the Baxia and Shaman plays, you can really do some crazy plays when it comes to Baxia and Shaman. So keep a lookout for that, guys. And then for the fusions, this is where it gets crazy. I run 3 fusions, especially for going second, or obviously going first, knowing what my opponent's going to play. But 3 fusions I run is Mud Dragon, obviously Garura, and Draco's Stepelia. Mud Dragon is for the attribute-based decks, Garura as well for attribute-based decks, or decks that only run a specific type and attribute, and then Draco's Stepelia is for branded. Basically, that's all I'm going to say. It's not for anything else, it's for branded. But yes, that is my extra deck. And then last but not least, guys, is obviously the side deck. You obviously did not see a way that I could go into these extra deck monsters, so the side deck will explain my reasons as to why I have the extra deck I have. Last but not least, guys, the side deck. Again, just like the extra deck, it is subject to change depending on your locals and what are you facing. So for the side, guys, now you know the reason why I have fusions. I run 2 super poly. This might change to 3 because every time I saw super poly, it was basically game. So 2 super poly, 2 Book of Moon. Actually did not need Book of Moon, to be honest. There was only one time I did Book of Moon, but I actually targeted one of my own monsters. So that was for time, because what happened was I was playing against a Makoko, if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, Makoko deck, and I needed less damage dealt to me, so I had to book my own monster, which was perfectly fine. I really didn't mind that. So yeah, booking my own monster was a play. So that was the only time I actually activated Book of Moon. Didn't need it for anything else. And yeah, if I'm gonna be playing against Cash, then probably Book of Moon will come back. But I mean, I'll probably side it out for something else. Maybe run an additional Lightning Storm, which is what I was playing as well, and then remove the other book for another super poly. But yes, that was 2 Book of Moon, and then 1 Lightning Storm and 1 Feather Duster. When I saw Feather Duster or Lightning Storm, that was pretty much game. Every time I did see these 2 cards, I was winning that game. So absolutely beautiful, absolutely crazy. I didn't have the need to play Thrust. I would like to add it, but I mean, most of the cards in my extra deck are not generic, or can I say generic? Are not normal traps or normal spells, I should say. So yeah, didn't really need Thrust. And for the traps, I played 2 Evenly Matched, 2 Gravity Collapse, 3 Anti-Spell, and 2 D-Barrier. So Evenly Matched is, I don't need to explain Evenly Matched. I mean, there were some times where I actually sided in one, because I do play cross-out. So I sided in the one for a cross-out target, and I mean, I was only able to resolve that once throughout testing. And then obviously anti-spells for spell decks, and the D-barrier if I'm playing anything else but synchro. And then the gravity collapse, guys. This is something that I saw in other deck profiles regarding Swordsoul, and this card is actually a problem. So basically you tribute you send one of your synchro monsters to the grave if your opponent would summon a monster. So you send for cost, negate the summon, and if you do, destroy that monster, and your opponent cannot summon monsters until the end of that turn. Yes, you heard me. You negate a summon and you don't allow them to summon for the rest of the turn. That is nuts, and it's common. Absolutely nuts. I think it's only got 2 printings, and this card is crazy. Absolutely crazy. You can, exhaust your negates first, and then just see where it's going, and then proceed to gravity collapse. It's an unfair card. I'm so glad it's not searchable unless somebody's found a way to search it. But yeah, gravity collapse, every time I did play the card, it did come in clutch, and don't think I would take this out. I might want to get another one because it was absolutely insane. So probably take out one Book of Moon for another gravity collapse. And yeah, this is definitely not going out of my side. Absolutely crazy. Nobody sees it coming, and I am glad they do not. But guys, this was my rendition of Swordsoul. Again, still busy testing, so this deck profile probably will change over the course of the format, but I am absolutely loving the ratios. I'm absolutely loving the extra deck. I'm loving the tech that I have implemented in this deck. As I've said, there are like 1 or 2 cards that I might want to take out and then put in something different, but besides that, I have no complaints with this deck. It's been absolutely amazing being able to play this deck. I've been wanting to play this deck for quite some time. Ever since Swordsoul came out, I wanted to play Swordsoul's. Not the specific version, obviously things have changed, but yeah, this was the dream deck. So again, shout outs to everybody who helped me out with the deck. Shout outs to AI for hosting such awesome tournaments. The tournament that we recently had was pretty large for a local, so I'm glad that there are so many more people coming in and joining. And yeah, it's amazing playing Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Guys, stay tuned for more videos, whether it be shorts, whether it be my streams, whether it be deck profiles, or me just talking nonsense on YouTube. And yeah, guys, it's been your boy Quabs. Thanks for watching.
Alright.
Peace.
I feel alive, yeah. Look at me racing the time. Bitches that I'm putting on to the side. I don't owe you nothing, did it? Put a ring on your finger, I was passing the time, yeah. Hated I started with that, but anyway, niggas still on the grind. Told you that I'm coming for what is mine. Got a couple of them pages in my head, find a way to take it straight to the heart. Dotted line, I'm the bigger artist. Got my niggas that gotta play a big